Welcome to Countywide. I'm Paul David. As always, it's great to have you in studio with us. Today we have Cottonwood Police Chief Steve Gesell and Verde Valley Habitat for Humanity's Executive Director Tania Sims. Welcome to studio. We're going to talk Cottonwood Cares, which we've talked about before.
We have.
We've had discussions about this 2 or 3 times, maybe even this year. But we've got more information to deliver on Cottonwood Cares. Websites for you. There is cottonwoodcares.com. That is up and running now. I went to it this morning.
It is. That's part of the latest news, I should say.
Part of what we're going to talk about today. So cottonwoodcares.com, you can visit that. And then there's vvhabitat.org. Their phone number is 649-6788. So tell me why we're here today. Cottonwood Cares, what's the latest?
Well, why don't we, for your viewers that aren't familiar with the concept,
Do you want to recap Cottonwood
if you
Cares?
can indulge us.
Yeah, you bet,
that.
sure. What's Cottonwood Cares?
Sure. So it's a very simple concept, and it is a program that really isn't an organization. It is essentially a conduit to help people that want to give to people in need, particularly individuals that may be homeless, to ensure that their donations make it to an organization locally that is actually going to make a difference in people's lives, that has the organizations that have proven track records to help people transition out of homelessness. That's the first prong of the program. Mm-hmm. And the second piece is really it's a vehicle to help provide information for the public's consideration when they see a panhandler on the corner of whether they're going to give money to that individual or not, and just kind of share the information that most social service providers will tell you is 9 times out of 10, if you do that, you're helping promote an unhealthy lifestyle choice.
And that's one of the things we're trying to stop right there. That's the big one we're trying to stop. Not to mention, do we call them fake panhandlers?
I call them faux homeless. Yeah,
faux homeless. Okay, the people who were on the corner, they literally got up, put the worst thing they had on, went out, sat in a corner with a cardboard sign. They're taking money all day long, and then they just go home in the evening. Yes. And that's technically their job, is what their job is.
Yes, and it's, for individuals in businesses like police or even social service providers, it can be very frustrating because we tend to know the backstory on a lot of the individuals that are standing on the corner, and we're certainly not trying to disparage individuals that actually need and want help to make the right choices and transition out. But it is frustrating to see people, what I call exploiting the public's goodwill.
Mm-hmm. And we've had success with this.
We have. It's one of multiple initiatives that the city of Cottonwood is involved with other stakeholders, and Tania and her organization is an example of that. We partnered with Habitat for Humanity and that is a new, also new news.
Right. Mm-hmm.
In regard to this program is our partnership with them.
Okay. So Tania, do you want to tell us how Habitat Humanity got involved in this?
Well, the simplicity of it is we were asked. Mm-hmm. There's a common desire to give a hand up instead of a hand out, right. And that's where our philosophies kind of meet. Our total vision is providing is a world where everybody has a decent place to live. Now, if you're homeless, you don't have a decent place to live.
Sure.
So oftentimes there's no shelter, and if you're continuing to substantiate that environment where they're living on the street, then that's not our goal. Our goal is to try to help people have a home where they can have shelter and stability in their life.
And the nice thing about Habitat for Humanity too is that the people who want the home work on the home. Actually, that they're going to build. They help build the house, right, before they even move into it.
It's a partnership. We build the house together.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So do you know how many homes we have in the Verde Valley right now?
14. We're going to finish our number 14 this month.
This month?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, where's that going up at?
In Verde Villages,
okay.
Just not too far from the high school.
All right. Family going in there?
Yes, it's a single mom with a son who's got some nerve damage as a result of birth, and so he's got some physical limitations.
So here's the hand up, right? Okay. All right. Awesome. So how many do you do in a year now, Habitat for Humanity? And do you need help? Let me ask you that. How many are you actually getting erected each year, the houses, and do you need help with that every year?
We're an organization that's been in the Verde Valley for 23 years, and our goal was to build at least one house a year. We haven't always accomplished that, so we're on house number 14, but we just completed and approved a really aggressive strategic plan, and it's by year 2020 building 4 homes a year. We're going to finish this home now. We're going to start over in Rimrock, where we have 3 properties, and start building every 6 months over there until we're finished. And then we have other properties in Sedona and in the Verde Villages where we'll build, and then we'll just continue that cycle. So we see that there's a huge need for affordable workforce housing here in the Verde Valley, period, across the country, but we focus on the Verde Valley. So we have an aggressive plan where we will accomplish that.
Okay. Now, how are you helping with Cottonwood Cares?
We are the fiduciary for Cottonwood Cares. We also make sure that people understand what it's not really a program, it's kind of an initiative and just a collaboration, but people understand what it's all about. And that our role in it is to be the
repository.
Yes, that's a good word. Repository, or the holder of the funds that are donated to the organization or to the initiative.
Gotcha. I pulled up the Cottonwood Cares. It's pretty simple right here.
Very simple.
Should I read it?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Cottonwood Cares is an educational campaign that encourages citizens to donate to organizations that are proven to assist those in need in transitioning away from homelessness and towards self-reliance, which is what we talked about already at the beginning of the show so far. The city's partnered with the Cottonwood Chamber of Commerce, Habitat for Humanity, and MatForce. So there's a couple of other partners involved in this as well. MatForce, it makes sense that they're in there. And then donations made will periodically be dispersed by authority of the group to local organizations known for effective program management. Who would those programs be? Those folks that would be involved in receiving the funds?
Well, the vision would be you have your partners, Habitat being one, you mentioned the Chamber and MatForce, so representatives from those organizations. Once Tania, just calls, and again, it's simplicity at its best. She would call the other stakeholders and say, hey, I think we've got a benchmark fund amount of dollars in the fund, and maybe we should consider reinvesting that in our social service providers. So we would kick out a media release, and local social service providers that provide some type of service connected to helping people transition out of homelessness, that have reputations for not enabling those destructive behaviors, which most of our social service agencies, I believe, do have solid programs, many of which are based on case management, which is the key. We've talked about that before. And then we would simply dole out that money to those individual local providers that directly impact the quality of life in the Verde Valley and Cottonwood. And we would dole them out much like a grant, but a very simplistic process that they would just simply say, here's what we would do if we were to get money from Cottonwood Cares. Very important to mention that with the help of Habitat for Humanity, they're a nonprofit 501c3. And so every donation is tax deductible.
Okay, so that's good to know. Let's take our first break. Cottonwood Police Chief Steve Gesell in studio today. Verde Valley Habitat for Humanity's Executive Director Tania Sims. Websites for you: cottonwoodcares.com, bbhabitat.org, and Verde Valley Habitat for Humanity's phone number is 649-6788. This is Countywide, back in just a couple minutes.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
The Q102.9 plays all the hits.
Yo, what's going on? This is Drizzy Drake.
Ariana Grande.
Maroon 5.
This is Rihanna.
I'm Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Bruno Mars.
Ed Sheeran.
What's up, guys? It's Justin Bieber.
You're listening to The Weeknd.
Start your day with Brian James in the morning. He'll get at least 10 songs in a row during your ride home with Julie Page.
Zach Sang Show.
Catch the Zach Sang Show weeknights 7 to midnight. And Kelly Fox weekends on your home for hit music. The Q102.9 and 104.9 in Prescott and Cottonwood.
There are people who struggle with addiction and homelessness. Sometimes it may feel like there is nothing we can do to help.
But there is. You can make a tax-deductible donation and help those in need transition away from homelessness.
When you give someone a handout, you could actually be supporting an addiction.
A better life starts with better health, especially for those living in the streets.
Support solutions, not addictions. You can make a difference. Visit cottonwoodcares.com.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Welcome back to Countywide. We're talking about Cottonwood Cares. The website is cottonwoodcares.com. Also, Verde Valley Habitat. It's vvhabitat.org. Phone number is 649-6788. Cottonwood Police Chief Steve Gesell and Verde Valley Habitat for Humanity's Executive Director Tania Sims in studio. We want to talk more about the donations, and Ryan had a question too. Are there any kind of specific agencies that you can name that would be eligible for this? I would think what comes to mind is Angie's House. We've had Angie in here a few times. So that kind of a place. Catholic Social Services.
Catholic Charities, yeah. Angie's House, any service that would provide, even tangentially, services that would help people transition out.
And they'll apply for these funds, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very simple.
Right now, but they would have. Is it going to be like an application process? I mean, at a certain time of year, depending on how much money comes in?
Yeah, and again, it's just based on, ideally, and we're very hopeful that, you know, that fund level raises quickly.
Of the public.
Right.
And I think what I want to mention also, too, is that instead of the person who drives up to that stop sign and sees that person standing there with a cardboard sign or whatever it may be asking for money, instead of giving them that money, which you have no idea where it's going to go, the goal of Cottonwood Cares is to say, okay, I was going to give that person $20. I'm going to go ahead and go to cottonwoodcares.com, put that $20 into it. That way it's going to go to some sort of a service that is going to help get people back on their feet.
Sure.
And maybe even help more people than just the one person standing on the corner.
Sure, and having the exposure that I've had in my business, I can tell you that I'm a firm believer there's a psychology behind giving to someone. You feel better about it, and there's an instant gratification. What we would encourage people to do is think this through. Are you really helping someone? You may feel good when you give that money through your door window or your car window, but the bottom line is, I can tell you, if we had more time, I could tell you an endless number of stories how people are actually hurting individuals by giving them money and even killing them or enabling them to kill themselves.
Well, $20, I think you can buy some meth with $20. Probably buy some heroin with $20. You can buy some alcohol with $20. You can buy all kinds of things that would promote the addiction, further the addiction.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to kind of highlight. Bring awareness to that element. So someone, and obviously it's America, it's your choice whether you want to do it or not. We're also trying to send the message that when you do that, it's not just about that person, there's a community health aspect as well that's impacted. If any community becomes known as an enabling environment, there is an effect to that where you have what we call the broken windows theory, where you have a sense of lawlessness, whether there's real or perceived crime. And I heard that when I came here, we needed to do something about our homeless issue because people were basing that on the number of people they saw on the street corners, which quite frankly was skewing their perception because 90% of the individuals we ended up contacting weren't homeless. So there's an educational piece to this as well, which we mentioned in the beginning. The print piece behind us is, we'd like to spread that far and wide. Anyone that wants one of these can contact either Habitat, the Chamber, or the Cottonwood Police Department, and we'll make sure that we get you one.
What's the goal of it? Maybe I should hold this up. Ryan can zoom in and talk about this a little bit. What is this? What is the goal of this right here?
Well, the imagery comes from. Sorry, I've got a little cold that I'm shaking, but the imagery comes from a similar program that I was involved with in the state of California, which was really the linchpin of the educational component of the program is it tells a story right away. It shows the person dropping a change into someone's hand and it morphs into drugs and alcohol before it hits. We're certainly not saying that all homeless people have addictions. That is not what we're saying. What we're saying is this is strictly focused on panhandling, and what social service providers will tell you 9 times out of 10, that's what you're facilitating.
Okay, so what would you encourage somebody who gets one of these? Like you brought this one for the station, so we're going to put this up. What's the goal of having that on a bunch of storefronts?
Well, our hope is, and we've got a multimedia focus in this particular initiative where we've got print, we're doing shows like this, we're going to be doing some radio spots as well. And I think on our commercial break, you were running our PSA, which features Tania, myself, and Marilee Fowler from Map Force. And that kind of, you know, we just want a subtle presence. We don't want to just beat this to the end of the day, but we want to make sure the message is consistently out there in different formats, because that's the only way that it'll be I think, impactful for the community and for individuals.
Now, Verde Valley Habitat for Humanity, you mentioned, Tania, there but at the start of the show that you've kind of reached out, you've got properties in Rimrock, and you're kind of surrounding the whole Verde Valley and finding places to build homes, because it's not a cheap world anymore to go out and find land to build a house on. Is Cottonwood Cares doing the same thing? Is it staying in just Cottonwood, or is this something that's going to spread out across the Verde Valley?
Well, the program is specific to Cottonwood, but as we know, that we've got very tight city borders, and our service population is about 40,000 every day. So I think it would be, we'd be remiss in not realizing that the city of Cottonwood is impacted by the surrounding, particularly unincorporated areas. So it's that it takes a village, and it doesn't make any sense just to stop at our borders, but it certainly is tied to anything that influences the city.
Let me ask you this. Have we had anybody outside of Cottonwood? Because I'm trying to remember the other program that we implemented when you first got here.
Safe Shopper.
Safe Shopper program. That's how this whole kind of thing started, wasn't it? That led to Cottonwood Cares? Well, it's a different program, but...
It's a different program, and also alternative sentencing as well. So we've got a number of programs that the city's involved with that is, they might have some, I'll use the word tangential variables in them, where there's benefit or there's focus in this area for individuals per se in this demographic that may be habitual low-level offenders, that may have dual diagnosis, mental health issues, may have substance abuse issues, and those are common amongst all three of those initiatives. But working together, and again, partnering, the government can fix very few problems by itself. We cannot do that without the help of organizations like Habitat for Humanity and the community, and that's the beauty of living in a community like Cottonwood, like the Verde Valley, is people care.
I'm noticing that more and more too. Do you guys notice that as well? I've just noticed I've been doing quite a few shows over the last couple of years where it's not so much these outside organizations that Verde Valley agencies are linking up to anymore. It's local partners that they're all, and the word local has become a big deal. Is that true for you?
Definitely.
Yeah.
We partner with not only the city of Cottonwood, but we partner with other nonprofits. Excuse me. For us, it just makes sense because as I was having lunch with a friend last week, he said what the beauty of not only Habitat but the community is that you have a community that comes together to help build a home for an affordable, qualified homeowner. But I think that's just a signature of our community itself, that we do come together. We do have a desire to have a really strong, stable community. And if you don't come together and we're all kind of working in our own silos, then we're not going to be able to accomplish that. Yeah,
it keeps the money local too. We got to take a break, okay? Websites for you, cottonwoodcares.com, bbhabitat.org. Their phone number is 649-6788. This is Countywide. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late...
She doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new.
Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened?
Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi.
You mean you were driving?
Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
There are people who struggle with addiction and homelessness. Sometimes it may feel like there is nothing we can do to help.
But there is. You can make a tax-deductible donation and help those in need transition away from homelessness.
When you give someone a handout, you could actually be supporting an addiction.
A better life starts with better health, especially for those living in the streets.
Support solutions, not addictions. You can make a difference. Visit cottonwoodcares.com.
Q102.9 plays all the hits.
Yo, what's going on? This is Drizzy Dre.
Ariana Grande.
Maroon 5.
This is Rihanna.
I'm Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Bruno Mars.
Ed Sheeran.
What's up, guys? It's Justin Bieber. You're listening to The Weeknd.
Start your day with Brian James in the morning. You'll get at least 10 songs in a row during your ride home with Julie Page.
Zach Sang Show.
Catch the Zach Sang Show weeknights 7 to midnight. And Kelly Fox weekends on your home for hit music. The Q102.9 and 104.9 in Prescott and Cottonwood.
Welcome back to Countywide. We've got just a couple minutes left of the program. I wanted to go back to the Verde Valley Habitat for Humanity. We've talked a lot about cottonwoodcares.com. People could donate to that to help people up off the streets and get them moving in the right direction again, make them productive people in society once again. Verde Valley Habitat for Humanity, years ago, the other executive director from years ago was in here, and we talked about the fact that you guys opened a Restore. So give us an update on how that's doing, and where does that money go?
Our Restore is located at 737 South Main. That's where we moved 6 years ago, and it was a fabulous move for us because of the location and just the space. It's a much larger space. The funds that we raise through our Restore help support the organization and the construction programs that we have. So included in our new home construction, we also started a home repair program the end of last year, and that's critical home repair, primarily for seniors and veterans.
Oh, really?
Helps them repair, do some repairs on their homes that they can't do, and building wheelchair ramps. Last fiscal year, we built 7 ramps, and we're probably going to build 6 or 7 this year, too.
Oh, that's great. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so Restore is a very substantial financial support to our organization, in addition to other fundraising that we do.
And people know it's there.
I hope so, since we're on Main Street, there on the corner.
That's good, right? But you know what I mean. This is a
don't.
perfect chance to tell people that you've got. What is the Restore and what's in there? So let's tell them that.
I say that we're a thrift store Home Depot because in addition to what Home Depot has, we have furniture, used furniture, but we have a lot of support from the community. We get a lot of donations, great donations. We have, if you need to do any home repairs, home construction, home remodel, then come to our store first. You're more than likely going to find something there that you can use. Not that I want to take business away from Home Depot, but if you're trying to support local, then that's a great way to start. But we also have new items oftentimes, so you never know what you're going to get. Just come and look and check us out.
Well, I think the goal is somebody wants to maybe give money, but they don't want to just give money. Now they're giving money, but they're also getting something that they can use as well. So, I mean, that's like a plus for a lot of folks. I don't like to just necessarily give money.
Right.
But
and many times they're getting a great deal. And I'll just comment real quick that I think all of Tania's staff knows my wife very well on a first name basis.
Yeah, is she in there a lot?
Yeah, yes.
The Restore, yeah, okay.
We have our regular customers that love us, and we love them. But we want new people too.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't know if we have time, but I wanted to just mention about
the donation. You have
60
seconds,
60
Tania.
seconds. Well, last week we had the APS president and CEO, Don Brandt, come and visit our property. We have received a 3,600 modular building donation from APS that we're going to be adding to our property there at 737 South Main.
Oh, wow.
We're moving our offices from the Restore to this building in the back once we get it constructed. That way we'll have more space even that opens up for retail.
Bigger and better.
Yes.
It's actually happening. You hear that a lot, you know. Things are going to get bigger and better. You just want to see it actually happen, so that's good. Tania, thanks for coming in today.
Sure,
Again, Verde Valley Habitat for Humanity is bbhabitat.org, number 649-678-8. Cottonwood Police Chief Steve Gesell, it's always great to see you.
Thank you very much, Paul.
Cottonwoodcares.com. That's today's Countywide. Thanks for watching and listening, and we'll talk to you again next time.